Do you ever walk into a room and just stop? You know you came in for a reason, but your brain has completely checked out. Or maybe you find yourself rereading the same line in an email 10 times because the words just won't stick. That feeling of brain fog, that sense that your mind just isn't as sharp as it used to be, it's not just you, and it's not just about getting older. What if 5 seemingly harmless habits you do every single day are slowly dulling your edge and making it harder to think clearly? The damage is sneaky because you can't see it, but the science is becoming impossible to ignore. Today, we're digging into 5 digital habits that research suggests are chipping away at your cognitive abilities. We're going to look at the neuroscience of how they do it, and how they might be affecting everything from your memory to the very structure of your brain. But this isn't about scaring you. For each habit, I'm going to give you a simple, science-backed fix you can start using immediately. These aren't massive life overhauls. They are small adjustments that will help you reclaim your focus, sharpen your thinking, and finally clear out that mental clutter. The first habit, quietly sabotaging your brain, is one we all know and love to hate. That mindless, endless scroll through a parade of bad news and outrage, also known as doom scrolling. You tell yourself you're just staying informed, but what's really happening is a traffic jam in your brain's workspace. Here's the science. You have something called a working memory. Think of it like a temporary mental whiteboard where you hold information to solve problems and think critically. When you doom scroll, you're flooding that whiteboard with a chaotic stream of fragmented, emotionally charged information. This overloads your brain's capacity, leaving almost no room for deep, productive thought. It's why you can feel so drained after just 20 minutes on an app. Even worse, this habit trains your brain for distraction. The constant rapid-fire novelty of short clips and wild headlines conditions you to crave instant stimulation. As a result, your ability to sustain focus on something that isn't a flashing emergency, like reading a book, analyzing a report, or just having a real conversation, starts to fade. Over time, your brain gets used to skimming surfaces instead of thinking deeply. The fix isn't to quit social media, but to go from a mindless consumer to a mindful user. Before you open an app, have a mission. Are you checking on a specific friend? Looking for a recipe? Set a timer for 15 minutes, do what you came to do, and get out. Another powerful trick is to consciously slow down your scrolling speed. This tiny act of resistance breaks the pattern of shallow processing and forces your brain to engage more deliberately. This helps you trade anxiety for focus. The second habit is simply the sheer amount of time we spend staring at screens when we're not working. The science here is getting scarily clear. Excessive recreational screen time is being linked to some worrying changes in the brain, particularly in younger adults. Here's what's happening. Some neuroimaging studies on young adults who are very heavy screen users have shown a correlation with a thinner cerebral cortex. That's the brain's wrinkly outer layer, and its mission control for high-level thinking like memory and decision-making. As it thins, your processing power can slow down. Now, this doesn't prove screen time caused the thinning, but the link is a serious red flag. Other studies have found that adults with diagnosed smartphone addiction tend to have lower gray matter volume. Gray matter is the tissue that does the heavy lifting for your memory, movement, and emotions. While it naturally declines with age, some researchers worry that extreme tech overuse might be speeding up that process. It's led some to use the phrase digital brain fog to describe the forgetfulness and poor focus that can come from being constantly plugged in. The strategy is to intentionally swap passive screen time for activities that actually feed your brain. Try this. No screens for the first hour of your day. Instead of waking up and immediately grabbing your phone, use that time for things that will set you up for mental clarity, like a short walk, reading a physical book, or just getting some morning sun. During your workday, use the 20-20-20 rule. Every 20 minutes, look at something 20 feet away for 20 seconds. This prevents the eye strain that leads directly to brain fatigue. The goal is to trade passive consumption for active engagement. Habit number 3 is that final scroll through your phone or tablet right before you try to sleep. It feels like a harmless way to wind down, but it's one of the most direct ways to sabotage your sleep quality and your brain power the next day. The problem isn't just what you're watching, it's the light itself. Here's the science. Our screens blast out a high concentration of blue light. When this light hits special cells in your eyes at night, it sends a powerful memo to your brain that says, "Just kidding, it's still daytime." This signal goes straight to your brain's master clock and slams the brakes on melatonin production, the hormone that tells your body it's time to sleep. As a result, you take longer to fall asleep, and the sleep you finally get is shallower and less restorative. The consequences are obvious the very next morning. Studies consistently show that evening blue light exposure leads to impaired alertness, attention, and memory the following day. One study even found that just a couple of hours of blue light at night can tank cognitive performance, especially your ability to pay attention and react quickly. Long-term, this chronic sleep deficit can weaken your brain's resilience. This one is beautifully simple. Create a screen-free buffer zone before bed. For at least 60 minutes before you want to be asleep, put all screens away. If you can, charge your phone in another room so you aren't tempted. Replace scrolling with a relaxing screen-free routine. Read a real book, listen to a podcast or some music, take a warm bath. If you absolutely must use a device, use a blue light filter and turn the brightness all the way down. But the best fix is to just disconnect and let your brain do what it needs to do to prepare for deep, restorative sleep. If you're getting some value out of this, do me a quick favor and hit that like button. It's a huge help and lets me know you want more content just like this. The fourth habit is something we all do, thinking we're being masters of efficiency. Media multitasking. This is when you're typing an email while a YouTube video plays, texting while watching a movie, or just constantly flipping between a dozen tabs and notifications. We tell ourselves we're getting more done, but what we're actually doing is training our brains to be worse at everything. Here's the science. Your brain doesn't actually multitask, it task switches. It just jumps from one thing to another very, very quickly. And this switching comes with a huge cognitive cost. Research shows that heavy media multitaskers are actually worse at filtering out irrelevant information, meaning they're far more distractible. Some neuroimaging studies have even found that people who do this a lot tend to have less gray matter density in the anterior cingulate cortex, a key brain region that acts as the command center for focus and emotional control. This habit fragments your attention. Instead of deep, sustained focus, you're teaching your brain to operate in a state of continuous partial attention. This leads to shallower thinking and poorer memory because you never really engage with any one thing long enough for it to stick. You're essentially encouraging your brain to offload the job of remembering to your device, which weakens your own mental muscles. The solution? The antidote is single tasking. It sounds obvious, but it requires real effort. When you sit down to work, close the 27 irrelevant tabs you have open and put your phone in another room. When you're watching a movie, just watch the movie. When you're talking to someone, just listen. Try using a time blocking method like the Pomodoro technique. Work with intense focus for 25 minutes, then take a short break. This retrains your brain's ability to sustain focus, making you sharper and more productive. The final habit is the overconsumption of passive, fast-paced content, especially the fire hose of TikToks, Reels, and Shorts. This type of media is engineered to be addictive, and it hooks you using a dopamine reward loop that can make normal life feel boring. Here's the science. These short, highly stimulating videos trigger a dopamine release in your brain that's similar to gambling. The constant novelty and rapid pace create an expectation of instant reward. This makes slower, more thoughtful activities like reading, studying, or just thinking feel incredibly difficult by comparison. Studies are now showing a troubling link between heavy use of these apps and a decline in cognitive functions. Researchers have found that heavy users of short-form video apps often perform worse on tasks that require sustained attention and self-control. This type of content also completely overwhelms your working memory. The fast cuts, music, and on-screen text all at once prevent your brain from processing any of it deeply. This encourages a more impulsive style of thinking, while the parts of your brain responsible for deep reasoning get less of a workout. It trains your brain for attention fragmentation, making true focus a serious challenge. The solution? You have to actively rebalance your content diet. First, set hard limits on short-form video apps using your phone's built-in timers. More importantly, you must intentionally practice deep consumption. Set aside time every day to read a book or a long-form article. Watch a full-length documentary. Listen to a podcast that requires you to follow a complex story. Pick up a hobby that challenges your brain like playing chess or learning an instrument. By replacing passive, hyper-fast content with activities that demand real focus, you retrain your brain for sustained attention and critical thought. So, mindless doom scrolling, excessive screen time, nighttime blue light, chronic multitasking, and fast-paced content. The point of this isn't to make you want to throw your phone in a lake, it's about empowerment. The great news is that your brain is remarkably adaptive. Scientists call this neuroplasticity, and it's basically your brain's superpower. It means this damage isn't a life sentence. By making small conscious changes, by choosing intention over distraction, by protecting your sleep, and by embracing deep focus, you have the power to reverse these trends. You can get your sharp mind back. It starts with the very next choice you make. If this video opened your eyes to some of your own habits, subscribe for more science-backed strategies to help you build a better mind. And for your next step, check out the video on your screen right now that breaks down the habits of geniuses. Thanks for watching.